already be seated in the presence of the Lord. That song blessed me, that blessed me, that blessed me, that heal. No one compares to you. There is a word from God from the book of Job. You don't have to go there because you know it's going to be from the BV version that you don't have, but most of you know the story already. The book of Job, chapter 1, verse 1 through 20. Very familiar passage, but it's going to constitute the word or the message that God has for you today. In the land of Uz, there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright, complete and perfect in the eyes of God. He feared God and stayed away from evil. Job had 10 children, 7 sons, 3 daughters. He owned a lot of land, sheep, cattle. He also had a large number of people who worked for him. He was one of the greatest men among all the people in the East. His sons and daughters used to hold festivals in their home, have parties and gatherings, and invite their family and friends to eat and drink with them. And every time they had a feast, Job would make arrangements for them to be cleansed, and he would sacrifice unto God for his children. Early one morning, he would continue to do one after the other, sacrificing for his children. And Job said amongst himself, I do this in the event my children sin and have God curse them. So I must continuously sacrifice unto God on their behalf. One day, somebody say one day. One day, the angels of the Lord came to give their report unto God. And the sorry lying joker named Satan came with him, or with them. The Lord said to Satan, what are you up to? Satan replied, I've been roaming, going back and forth, to and from around the whole earth, trying to find somebody to pick on. And the Lord said to Satan, well, have you tried to pick on my servant Job? Ain't nobody like him on the earth. He's an upright man, blameless, stays away from evil, and he fears me. And then Satan replied, well, of course he does. I would fear you too, all that you've given him, all that you provided for him, everything that he has. He has children, wife, cattle, land, riches. Nothing wrong with his body. Of course I would fear him if I was him. You have blessed him continuously. But I tell you what, God, if you stretch your hand and strike everything he has, I bet you he'll curse you to your face. The Lord said to Satan, no, I don't believe that. He's a servant of mine. So I will give you the opportunity to touch the things that he has, but you cannot touch his life. Satan immediately took what God gave him, the permission, and went and began to touch Job's life. One day when Job's sons were at one of the gatherings that they would always have, one of the messengers, servants, came to Job and said, you know, while your cattle was out there plowing and the donkeys were grazing the land, some enemies came and attacked them and killed them and took some of them away and killed the rest of the servants, and I'm the only one escaped to come tell you this. While he was speaking, another servant came unto Job and said, you know what? Seemed like there was fire from heaven that came down and burned up the sheep and burnt up the rest of the servants that were with the sheep. And I'm the only one to escape to be able to come and tell you this message. And while he was speaking, another messenger came and said, you know what? An enemy came in a group of 3, and they came and swept down. And the camels was with them, and they took the camels and made off with them, and then they killed the servants that were guarding the camel. And I'm the only one to escape to to be able to tell you what happened. Guess what? While he was yet speaking, another person came and said, you know what? I hate to give you the bad news, but your sons and your daughters were at the house gathering. And while they were gathering, for some reason, a great tornado came, hit the four corners of the house fell in, and all of them were killed, except for me. I escaped, and I'm the only one to escape to tell you what happened. That's a lot, right? Watch what Job did. After getting all of that news, all of that bad news, that Job didn't cuss God. Job didn't say, you mother. Job said, wait a minute. After all the bad news, here's what Job said. He got up, tore his robe in sorrow, and the Bible said he fell to the ground and worshiped God. Here's what I want you to focus on. Regardless of the outcome, he's still God. Oh man, I know y'all ain't get it like I get it. Oh, y'all ain't get it like I get it. Look at somebody and tell them, regardless of the outcome, he's still God. Yes, he is. He's still God. He's still God. I love that because I got to tell you what it came from. On yesterday, I was at a celebration service for someone who passed. And a man testified. And let me tell you what he said. He began to tell his story. He said he went to the doctor at the end of last year. And he went to the doctor at the end of last year, and the doctor cut off his right toes. Then after the doctor cut off his right toes, he said then another doctor come and they said, something wrong with your kidneys. Then another doctor come right after him and said, there's something wrong with your liver. And then another doctor come and said, after that doctor and said, there's something wrong with your heart. And then another doctor come and say, and then one after the other doctors are coming and saying that there's something wrong, this is happening, this is a problematic with your body. And at the end of him telling everybody in the church what was wrong with him, y'all know what he said? After all that, this is what blessed him. He said, he's still God. Oh, man. Here it is. When it blessed me, I had tears in my eyes because I know there are some folk looking at me right now. I promise you, you don't have none of the stuff that he testified about. Some of you don't even have one problem. And you don't recognize that he's still God. I know, not y'all, I'm talking about them out there. They complain about the rent that's past due. They can't believe that, God, you gotta be kidding me that they trying to take my car because I missed 2 payments. And this man testified that after losing all this, one thing after the other, one problem after the other, he recognized that no matter what, he's still God. Somebody needs to recognize. Because I promise you, there are some things that will happen to you in 2019 that may not have happened in 18. I ain't talking about just good things. There going to be some stuff you're going to struggle with in 19. But God wants you to know that regardless of the outcome, regardless of how he answers your prayer, you got to know that he's still God. He ain't changing. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Here it is. I gotta break the bad news to some folks. You probably say, I just became a Christian. And let me tell you, even though you a Christian, you're not exempt from problems. I know somebody be like, oh, I just got saved. I'm a Christian now. Everything is going to be perfect. No. Yeah, you're going to struggle just like the rest of us. But God wants you to know through those struggles, regardless of the outcome, he's still God. Ain't nothing changing. He's the same yesterday, today, and you know what? He's going to be tomorrow. The blessed me because a lot of time we get in a situation where we think our problems is the worst there is. We get in a situation where we say, I can't believe this happening to me. This don't make no sense. And you say, I do right. I try to do the best I can. And I love God. And I sing in the choir. And I usher. And I give my tithe. And I even give an offering. And you go and giving all these things that you're doing and wondering why your mortgage is late. Yeah, here's what God wants you to know. No one is exempt from problems. And if you're not exempt from problems, God just wants you to put in your mindset what you're going to go through in February or April or July. You need to understand that he's still God. You got to trust him through your problem. Trust him through your situation, through your dilemma, because you're going to have them. And you need to know that he's still God. It blessed me because y'all know my situation. I told the church yesterday, didn't break it down, but aren't you glad you don't look like what you've been through? I mean, I'm glad because y'all look at me. Does this look like the person that had cancer? Come on, somebody. I'm so glad I don't look. And some of you can testify. You may not have had cancer, but you had some losses. You may not have cancer or kidney failure or heart problem or all these other situations that he testified about. But you've gone through some stuff. And if you look the way you went through some stuff, you'll look ugly. You wouldn't even be attractive. Some of you don't, y'all hide y'all testimonies. Y'all don't tell, and that's good. I don't want you to get up and make folk cry because of stuff you've been through. I don't want you to get up and tell stuff, everything that happened to you, because some people probably can't handle it. But I'm glad to the fact that some praise report is a blessing to other folk when they start to listen, because here's what happened. They listen to what you have going on, and then they just say, you know what, I'm going to stop complaining. Because my little problem ain't nothing. My little issue is not a problem. My little dilemma ain't nothing. I didn't know that other folk had problems worse than me. You don't have to raise your hand. I'll raise it for you. Because some of you out there in the complaining mode. Matter of fact, there was this portrait that I saw the other day. And it had two lines. And they had a line over here, a line over here. And this line, watch this, it had one person in it. This line was filled like with 40 people. So I looked at the above captions. The line that was long. Let me go to the other line first. This line said gratitude. This line, the caption said complaints. Oh, y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. That went over y'all head. I know why it went over your head, because y'all was like, yeah, I'm in that line. I got you. It was a line, a spiritual line, where it said complaints and gratitude. The line that had gratitude had one person in it. The one with complaints had 45,000 people in it. Seemed like it was just going on. And I looked at that, and it showed me something, how, not y'all, folks out there, Christians do. We complain about everything. I know not y'all. I'm talking about them. Complain about everything. My head hurt. My stomach hurt. My toe. My ear. Ooh, my ear ache. And then we use those complaints to justify how we're going to act. Okay, y'all not getting. Y'all getting. Here it is. If I don't feel good, then I don't have to bless you or talk to you a certain way. Because if I don't feel good and then you say, how you doing? I can get attitude with you because I don't feel good. If I don't feel good, if I have something hurting and you come to me and ask me, can I borrow $20 to help? I ain't got no $20 because of your attitude. And here's the deal, not y'all, them out there, a lot of folk use their attitude and their anger to justify how they treat other folk. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Man. If you can't say amen, look at amen. There's several of them in here. Here it is. Let me walk through this text one more time, because this text, it pinpoints a lot of things in it. Number one, you got to understand that Job, the Bible clarifies and classifies him as an upright man, complete, don't like evil, raises kids right, all these good stuff. And here's the deal. And then somebody asks, why in the world would a man that's like that have problems? I heard it because I know, because some of y'all is doing, I do this right, I do this. So why? And this is the reason God put the Job story in here. Why would a man, because every time we go through something and we've done all the stuff we're supposed to do, the same thing happened. Devil is roaming, and God say, have you considered my servant? Put your name right there. Have you considered my servant Joseph? Have you considered my servant Sheila, Sandra, Susan May, Billy Ray, whatever? Have you considered my servant? Put your name right there when you begin to go through stuff and you have no idea why. See, it's a difference when you say, yeah, I done something, so I deserve this. It puzzled me. I think I told y'all this the other day, that it puzzled me when one of the brothers in prison, he told me that he believed the Lord, he know why he's in prison. So the Lord put me here because I'll probably be dead. I was doing a lot of stuff in the world. God put me here. And that's the reason I'm in prison. And I said, well, probably had something to do with it. It might not be the only thing. It might have something to do with that auto theft that you took out of somebody's garage. But I got what he was saying. I get the whole picture. But there are some, here's the deal, there are consequences yet for actions taken. Yeah, but here's the deal. You flip that. But just because you are going through something don't mean it's because you did something. But that's when the relationship with God come in. Because people get that mixed up. Automatically, as soon as you start having problems, you start to look around. What did I do? I must have done something. It ain't always like that. But if you do something, don't say, oh, no, God wanted me here because of this. No, it's because of what you did. But you got to have a relationship with God to understand that. Because there are some people that just automatically say, you know what, God must want me to go to jail. I'm finna go steal. No, that ain't how it work. That ain't how, that's the enemy talking to you. That ain't God telling you to go steal. That's you must want to go there. And it's going to be obliged if that's what action you take. Job was perfect and all the powerful. The Bible classified him as the top man in the eastern part of the world. That's over a lot of folk. And yet Job still lost all he had. Everything. That's a lot, y'all. Everything. One after the other, I read it. One after the other, when some of y'all have had these type of experiences where you get a phone call that your son or daughter is in trouble, and then you get ready to go and help them, and you can't find your keys, and then when you find your keys, you see your car that's on flat, and then you call AAA, and AAA say it's expired 2 weeks ago, and you didn't renew it. Then you try to call a friend, it goes straight to voicemail, and then one after the other, it happens, and God say, even in all that, guess what? I'm still God. I'm still God. Ain't nothing changed. I'm still God. But I'm allowing stuff to happen. You may not know it then, but I'm allowing stuff to happen to bless you later on. Job. Watch, let me finish this way. Job had 10 kids, cattle, land, health and strength. All this stuff that he had. And all it took for him to start losing stuff, righteous man. All it took for him to start losing was God to say, have you considered my servant Job? Here's the question. You don't have to answer it. Here's the question. You don't even have to answer it. Here's the question. If the devil today went to God and said, I've been going to and fro trying to find somebody to pick on. I was looking over there at E-Top. Would God say your name when he asked, have you considered my servant? That's something to think about. Would God be so confident to pick you for the devil to pick on? Or would God say, no, you ain't there yet, and you may not know how to handle it, so no, your name won't be called. Okay, that's not it. Here it is. Here it is. When God allowed cancer to enter my body, you know, I was distraught at first until God told me I can trust you. So that's the question. Can God trust you by going through stuff? Can he trust you? Can the devil come to God and God say your name? Have you considered my servant and then put your name there? Are you close enough to God where you won't leave him because you go through? Are you close enough to God where you go through problem and you will still stay with him? See, that's the question you need to ask. Or do you need to get closer? Because here's the good. When you have a relationship and the relationship ain't really tight, it's easy for somebody to come in and move y'all apart. Oh, y'all, some of y'all in that mess right now. Well, we ain't close. We kind of like this. We ain't real like that, but we kind of little close. It's easy for the enemy to come break y'all apart. I can tell y'all right now, 25 years of marriage, the finest queen can walk through that door and say, Bishop, I want you. I'll laugh at her. I'll laugh at her. Now, that same person can come to some of these other men. I ain't gonna say no name. Just looking around, I look around. They may not be as close, knit tight in their relationship, so it's easy for somebody outside to come and say, well, I mean, we having trouble, so I guess it ain't gonna hurt, because ain't nothing wrong with a little bump. Anyway, here's the deal. He got in trouble for that too, ain't it? But here's the deal. What's it? So the question is, can God trust you to put your name where he put Job's name? That's something. And if you are not confident right now, you need to get closer. Bishop, how do I get closer? In the Word. Constantly talking to him. Communicate with him. Not just on Sundays, but every single day. Lord, thank you for waking me up this morning. Lord, thank you for this night's sleep as I lay down. Lord, thank you for the afternoon meal. Lord, you constantly communicate with God and your relationship will get tighter. But there are some that don't communicate with God until Sunday comes. Every Sunday they say, okay, God, here I'm back. Here to talk to you and pray with you with my family and friends. Bottom line, saints, is that when you go through, no matter what the situation is, regardless of the outcome, know that he's still God. Stand to your feet. He's still God. He is still God. He is still God. You have to know that.